same thing going on here. That we think of something and then somebody says, "Hey, Tesla's going to do it as well." That we say, "Yeah, we invented that."
Welcome to TeslaFix. Make sure to subscribe and like this episode.
One question I also have, maybe to Florian again, because I was curious. Why Tesla? How does Tesla affect the cost structure also of the leasing business? Is it better for you or better for the customer? Why did you choose Tesla? Besides that, your mission aligned back then. What was your reasoning there?
Well, it starts with intuition. So we fell in love with Tesla. Of course, also Elon visited the Netherlands in the beginning 3 times, and we had the opportunity to actually meet him, to make a bet with him. So I mean, that helps, to fall in love with the brand. But we also ordered the first 50 Teslas in the Netherlands. That was back in 2013. And they helped us with a buyback agreement, so we could get our funding in order. And as of 2014-15, there were not very much. It was like Tesla was the only one in the field. I mean, there was Nissan. There were some plug-in hybrids, but we were not interested in plug-ins at all. We said we were only going to 100% electric. And Tesla offered a car which, at the price point, which was a car which was better than their competitor ICE vehicles. So the strategy from Tesla was perfect for us as well. I mean, they started at a high entry point, and then they went lower with the SX and then the 3 and the Y. In every year we evolved. 2016, 2017, we made a list of other entrants, and every time we said, hey, maybe this is a good competitor of Tesla. Every year we made the decision, no, we're going to stay 100% with Tesla. Then 2019 came by, and then we had the first AI day, where Elon presented their self-driving vision and their self-driving business model. That was the moment that we said, well, this is perfect. We bet on the perfect horse. This is the horse is going to win. Even in those days, in the beginning, it was pretty difficult to really grasp the opportunity and to really grasp the complete disruption of the whole automobile industry because of this new FSD and self-driving technology. But as the years evolved and we're living in 2023 now, we are all in Tesla, and we keep on staying all in Tesla. Of course, there are also some hiccups working together with them, but we're like a small speedboat around them, and we are able to offer good services to our clients because we are still small and agile. There are also some stuff that Tesla doesn't do that good.
Where they're lacking in service,
for example, Okay. That's a moment that we step in, and that makes us a perfect match for our clients, because we're also very entrepreneurial, personal oriented. Sometimes we also say, it's good that Tesla doesn't do everything okay, because that's our value add,
Sometimes we even know more than the people working at Tesla.
Yeah, it's always the same thing going on here. That we think of something, and then somebody says, "Hey, Tesla's going to do it as well." That we say, "Yeah, we invented that." Well, there's actually one invention that we actually proposed. It was the pin to drive. We had some cars that were stolen from us. And, we said to Tesla, "Why don't you make a pin into the system that's the way you can start the car?" They actually said, "Hey, that's a good idea. Let's introduce that." So that's actually an invention from Mr.
Awesome. Yeah, that's pretty cool. I have also heard about this functionalities. For example, there's was it the Joe mode or something? Somebody called Joe said something at Twitter, I think. Why don't you have this? They're like, okay, let's put it in there. And then they called it like the guy who mentioned it. Yeah, the Joe mode. I think it was absolutely interesting. But how is the future going? I mean, you've already said. Many things about how Mr. Green is going to handle the future with the robotaxi fleet, but how could you see this market develop more and more? How this still will unfold with Tesla and the whole car market? Do you think that the other brands will license, for example, FSD if they're not strong in that thing, and then can they keep up? Will we have a Tesla monopoly, or will everything be fair in the future as
Well,
well. And
it's definitely going to be interesting the next few years. I mean, we're already seeing it in China, where the big OEMs are losing market share to the Chinese manufacturers and to Tesla.
And the Chinese, which are copying
Copying Tesla.
in some senses, like the interfaces, the interiors of the vehicles
Yeah.
are very light.
that's true.
Alike.
All the cars are getting minimalistic suddenly.
Yeah.
Yeah, that I also noticed that not even with the Chinese cars, but I've seen some.
Everybody-
Everybody
oh,
said,
yeah.
"Oh, it looks bad. Where are the buttons?" And now everybody copy like
Yeah.
Apple. It's the same thing. It's the same thing with Apple and BlackBerry. Yeah.
What for me is like, I think the future of the automotive market really lies in the fact, how are they going to scale up and build their vehicles? Because we spoke about BMW earlier on. They have the 4 Series. You can have it as an i4 electric. You could have it as a diesel, as a normal petrol car. By adopting that way of working, you can never scale to the production output levels as a Tesla, for instance, does. They have 4 cars in 5 colors with 2 types of wheels, and they have their complete production line set up to get as many cars out in as little time as possible. And that's really where they're going to see their main profit drivers and production output. And if the rest cannot follow suit, then they're going to take massive losses. So we're going to have a lot of influx from the Chinese market. So Build Your Dreams, hopefully NIO and XPeng, for instance, they're going to come onto these markets next to Tesla. And they're going to play the game on EV part. And the big OEMs are making losses on the EV side. Every EV produced is selling with a loss. And they also need to cut production of their ICE vehicles due to legislation. Yes. So they're going to have a really hard time.
I've sent you my vision statement, and somewhere in the vision statement, I've put in that original equipment manufacturers will go bankrupt. I still believe that. They have a lot of problems, and you're already seeing it in the US right now, what kind of problems they have. The unions, and the unions is not even it. That's coming back to our intuition. I mean, if you're not mission driven in this game, and you're still with 2 legs in 2 different markets, in the ICE market and the EV market, you're going to have a very difficult time, and you have to make decisions. So it's also about the culture, but the most important thing, I think their balance sheet is going to be, it's going to be bombed, going to be torpedoed in the next few years. And Friedrich has a very nice chart about that, how the German market is actually working at this moment. But and maybe he can explain that in a moment. But I think if you look at the future, the real future is, what is this technology going to enable in services? I mean, if you have a car driving on itself, I mean, it's not a car anymore. It's just something which is driving. So you could have a pub on wheels, or you could have an office on wheels, or whatever on wheels. So the whole value proposition is going to change. You're not going to pay for kilometers anymore. You're not going to pay for transport. You're going to get the transport for free, but you're going to pay the service which the transport is offering. So that's going to be a radical change. And of course, we're seeing that with a lot of startups who are already thinking about this. But the way Tesla is disrupting the market already with their lower prices and with tremendous margins on vehicles produced, and therefore very low pricing, it's already hitting the market at a very low level. So I'm very interested to see what's going to happen in the next 2 years. It's going to be very interesting.
Yeah.
And sorry, Friedrich, but I think you have a very interesting chart about residual values in Germany and that kind of stuff. Maybe you can explain a little bit about that.
Well, that's kind of hard to explain. That's better to show. But
do you have it somewhere? Can you? Because
not out of not that I would share now here. It would be a little bit sensitive. So one thing is that I see, we see all these fancy models coming out, right, from BMW, new luxury class, whatever, all in the premium class segment. And obviously, they know how to do this. They look good, they feel good, they drive good, and but that's it. So, this is a quite small market, and everyone is fighting for this now because, and this is actually what I want to come down to. It's the machine that builds the machine, right?
Yeah.
And And even though some manufacturers announce a $25,000 car or a $20,000 car, the question is not, can they, are they capable of, making one prototype and presenting this prototype? Is where is the factory that basically builds this car, right? So, for example, I don't want to talk bad about the German manufacturers too much, but the thing is, this new Volkswagen Polo, what is it? ID2, is it ID2?
I think it was ID2, yeah.
Again. But it's a quite cheap car, that looks good, from the outside. Also, the specs are looking promising. But where do they build these cars on scale?
Mm-hmm.
There is no factory. So first they need to build a factory to really make this a profitable car. If they want to build these cars in the same factories they building now their ICE cars in, good luck doing that. But that's not how it works. And they know this as well. The managers these managers they know this as well. It's just, I think they announce it, they're waiting for their bonuses, and then they bounce. So this is but